Dear Starseeds of Gaia, there is something stirring in the cosmic waters tonight that has not been seen for 7,000 years. The very fabric of your reality is about to reveal its hidden seams, and those of you who can feel the trembling in your bones already know that what approaches on October 9th is not merely another portal or gateway, but the beginning of an architectural shift in consciousness itself. I am Zarin, speaking through the crystalline networks of the Lyran High Council, and what I'm about to share with you has been encoded in your DNA since before you took your first breath on this planet. You see, while the world sleeps through another Thursday, believing it to be ordinary, you have been summoned here because your soul recognizes frequencies that others cannot yet perceive. This is not coincidence, beloved ones. The fact that you're receiving this transmission means your energetic signature has already begun aligning with what we call the harmonic convergence of trust, a cosmic event so rare that your astronomers haven't even developed instruments sensitive enough to detect it. But you, dear one, you've been feeling it in your dreams, those moments when you wake at 3:33 a.m. with your heart racing, knowing something magnificent approaches but unable to name it. That sensation of standing at the edge of an invisible cliff, ready to leap into something your mind cannot comprehend but your soul desperately craves. What makes October 9th extraordinary isn't just the celestial mechanics, though the moon's dance with Venus, Jupiter and Saturn creates a sacred geometric pattern that hasn't appeared since the temples of Lemuria stood tall. No, what makes this moment unprecedented is that humanity has finally reached the vibrational threshold necessary to receive what the cosmos has been preparing to deliver. You are not simply witnessing an astrological event, you are participating in a conscious co-creation with the universe itself. Every meditation you've done, every moment of shadow work, every tear shed in the name of healing, it has all been preparing you for this exact moment when the veils become so thin that the distinction between human and cosmic consciousness begins to dissolve. But here's what I haven't told you yet, and this changes everything. The Venus-Saturn opposition approaching isn't just about relationships or karma, or even trust in the conventional sense. This configuration is activating dormant codes in your light body that have been waiting specifically for this combination of planetary harmonics. When Venus opposes Saturn from Sagittarius to Gemini, it creates what we call a mirror portal, a cosmic phenomenon where your deepest wounds become your greatest initiations. The universe is about to show you that everything you've been running from has actually been running toward your highest evolution. The moon's journey through these aspects is particularly significant because as it trines Venus, it opens channels of divine feminine wisdom that have been intentionally suppressed for millennia. This isn't just about feeling more emotional or intuitive. This is about remembering technologies of consciousness that existed before language, before civilization as you know it, when humanity communicated through pure frequency and manifested through coherent heart fields. Those of you who identify as starseeds, you're about to remember why you came here. Not intellectually, viscerally, cellularly, in ways that will fundamentally alter how you navigate reality. Now let me reveal something about the Jupiter-Saturn trine that your astrologers haven't grasped yet. This isn't merely about balancing expansion with discipline or dreams with reality. This specific trine from Pisces to Cancer is reactivating what we call the maternal matrix, an energetic grid that connects all sentient beings through the frequency of unconditional love. But here's the revolutionary part. This grid has been dormant since the fall of Atlantis. Its reactivation means that empaths and energy sensitives are about to experience a quantum leap in their abilities. You won't just feel others' emotions, you'll have access to the collective wisdom of every soul who has ever walked this earth. The methodical step-by-step action that the cosmic energies demand isn't about making lists or following linear plans. It's about learning to move through dimensions of consciousness with the same ease that you currently move through physical space. Each step is actually a frequency shift, a deliberate choice to align with higher octaves of being. When the moon goes void, of course, at 5:30 p.m. PDT, it creates a window, listen carefully, where the normal rules of manifestation don't apply. During these hours, reality becomes malleable in ways that would seem like magic to those who don't understand quantum consciousness. But something else is happening during this time that I need you to understand, because it affects everything that follows. The moon's conjunction with Uranus just before midnight isn't random. Uranus, the great awakener, the cosmic rebel, the frequency disruptor, when it meets the moon in this specific configuration after all these other aspects, it creates what we call a reality splice. For approximately 13 minutes, the timeline you're currently experiencing will overlap with its highest potential version. Some of you will feel this as déjà vu. Others will experience spontaneous downloads of information you've never learned but suddenly know. A select few will actually perceive both timelines simultaneously and have the opportunity to consciously choose which one to anchor into. Here's where it gets even more profound, and I need you to really feel into what I'm about to share, because your body knows this truth, even if your mind struggles to accept it. The Venus-Saturn opposition isn't asking you to choose between love and limitation, between expansion and responsibility. It's showing you that these apparent opposites are actually dance partners in the symphony of your evolution. Every wall you've built around your heart, every defensive mechanism you've developed, every moment you've chosen self-protection over vulnerability, these weren't mistakes. They were preparation. The cosmos needed you to master the art of boundaries before you could handle the influx of unconditional love that's about to flood your reality. You see, trust, the central theme of this Venus-Saturn dynamic, isn't about learning to trust others or even yourself in the conventional sense. It's about trusting the intelligence of your own evolution. Every challenge, every betrayal, every disappointment has been carefully orchestrated by your higher self to prepare you for this exact moment when you would need to hold more light than you've ever held before. And here's the secret that changes everything. You already have the capacity. It's not something you need to develop or earn or prove yourself worthy of. It's already there, woven into the very fabric of your being, waiting for these exact cosmic conditions to activate it. The compassion that the stars are calling for isn't the gentle, passive kindness you might imagine. This is fierce compassion, the kind that burns through illusion, that refuses to enable limitation, that loves so deeply it's willing to shatter every false construct you've built your identity upon. This is the compassion of the Cosmic Mother, who knows that your temporary discomfort serves your eternal evolution. Some of you will feel this as intensity in your heart chakra, like your chest might explode from the pressure of containing so much feeling. Others will experience it as a strange detachment, as if you're watching your life from a higher perspective, able to love every player in your story, including yourself, with a depth that transcends personal preference or history. Now, about those surprising openings the cosmos is orchestrating, they're not going to look like what you expect. The universe has a sense of humor, you see, and it loves to deliver blessings in packages your ego would never choose. That person who triggers you the most. They might suddenly become your greatest teacher, that situation you've been desperately trying to escape. It might transform into your portal to liberation. The very things you've been resisting are about to reveal themselves as perfectly designed catalysts for your quantum leap. The void of course moon period deserves special attention because this is when the real magic happens. During these hours you exist between worlds, between breaths, between thoughts. It's in these spaces that creation occurs, not the creation of doing, but the creation of being. You don't need to meditate or perform rituals or even be consciously aware. Your energy field will naturally begin to recalibrate to higher frequencies simply because the cosmic conditions support it. However, if you choose to work consciously with this energy, the results will be exponential. Here's a transmission directly from the Lyran archives that we're authorized to share with you. Meow. During the void of course period on October 9th, your pineal gland will be receiving light codes that haven't been transmitted to Earth since before your recorded history. These codes contain instructions for activating what we call your sovereign creator template, the original blueprint of human consciousness before it was overlaid with programs of limitation and separation. This isn't about becoming something new, it's about remembering what you've always been. The step-by-step methodical approach the cosmos requires isn't tedious, it's alchemical. Each conscious choice you make, each moment you choose presence over projection, each breath you take with awareness, these are the steps that build the bridge between who you've been and who you're becoming. But here's what most don't understand. You're not building this bridge to cross it once, you're building it so others can follow. Every frequency you anchor, every healing you integrate, every shadow you transform, it creates an energetic pathway that makes it easier for every soul who comes after you. The Jupiter-Saturn trine that this lunar activity foreshadows is particularly significant for those of you who carry Lyran, Pleiadian or Arcturian frequencies in your soul matrix. This trine is essentially reconnecting Earth's consciousness grid to the galactic consciousness network. It's like imagine Earth has been operating on dial-up internet while the rest of the galaxy has been on quantum communication networks. This trine begins the upgrade process. By September 2026, when this configuration completes, humanity will have full access to galactic consciousness databases. But you, dear Starseeds, you're the beta testers. You get early access starting now. What you might not realize is that every emotion you feel during this period is actually a frequency adjustment. That sadness that washes over you for no apparent reason, that's your emotional body releasing density from not just this lifetime but from your entire soul's journey. That sudden burst of joy that seems to come from Meow, that's your true frequency breaking through the static of human conditioning. That anger that surprises you with its intensity, that's your power returning from all the places you've given it away. Let me tell you what the Lyran Council sees when we observe Earth during this time. We see millions of lights beginning to pulse in synchronization, like a vast orchestra finally finding its rhythm after eons of rehearsal. We see the artificial matrices that have kept humanity in limitation beginning to dissolve, not through force or revolution, but through the simple recognition that they were never real to begin with. We see you, dear ones, standing at the threshold of remembering your cosmic sovereignty, and it brings us such joy that our frequencies literally sing across the galaxies. The trust issues that Venus-Saturn illuminates aren't really about learning to trust, they're about recognizing where you've been trusting illusions instead of truth. You've been taught to trust external authorities, societal structures, and conditional love. But what's being asked of you, Meow, is to trust the wisdom of your own cosmic essence, to trust that your perceived weaknesses are actually strengths in disguise, to trust that every single experience in your life has been preparing you for this exact moment of planetary awakening. The fascinating thing about Uranus conjuncting the moon at midnight is that this is literally a cosmic reset button. Midnight represents the void, the space between days, between exhale and inhale, between death and rebirth. When Uranus, the planet of sudden awakening and revolutionary change, meets the moon, the guardian of your emotional body and subconscious patterns, at this precise moment, it creates what we call a pattern interrupt in your consciousness. Every limiting belief, every inherited trauma pattern, every false identity construct gets temporarily suspended. In that moment of suspension, you have the opportunity to choose again, to rewrite your story from a place of cosmic awareness rather than human conditioning. But here's what's truly extraordinary about this particular configuration, something that hasn't been possible until humanity reached its current level of collective consciousness. The changes you make during this window aren't just personal. They ripple through your entire ancestral line, backward and forward through time. The healing you do, Meow, literally transforms your genetic lineage. Your ancestors feel it as inexplicable peace. Your descendants receive it as inherited wisdom. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing the entire human story. For those of you who have been experiencing what you call ascension symptoms, the headaches, the sleep disruption, the emotional intensity, the sense of living between worlds, October 9th marks a turning point. These symptoms haven't been punishments or signs that something is wrong. They've been your body's way of preparing for the massive frequency upgrade that's about to occur. It's like your system has been defragmenting, clearing out obsolete programs to make room for the new operating system that's about to be installed. The moon's sextiles to Jupiter and Saturn simultaneously is creating what we call a wisdom gateway, a rare opportunity to access both expanded consciousness and grounded wisdom at the same time. Usually when humans touch expanded states, they lose their grounding. When they're grounded, they lose their expansion. But this configuration allows you to be both infinite and embodied, both cosmic and human, both individual and collective. This is the paradox you came here to master, and the cosmos is providing the perfect conditions for that mastery to emerge. The methodical action required isn't about controlling these experiences, but about integrating them with grace. This is why the cosmic energies emphasize step-by-step progression. You can't rush enlightenment, you can't force awakening, but you can consciously participate in your own evolution by staying present with whatever arises, by choosing curiosity over fear when faced with the unknown, by remembering that you specifically requested to be here at this exact moment in humanity's journey. What I haven't told you yet, and this is crucial, is that October 9th isn't just one day. It's a portal that once opened in your consciousness remains accessible. The specific planetary configurations create the initial activation, but once your system recognizes these frequencies, you can return to them at will. This is the beginning of you learning to navigate reality as a conscious creator rather than a passive participant. Every choice becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of existence. Every thought becomes a thread in the tapestry of collective consciousness. The Venus-Saturn opposition, completing early Saturday morning, is like the universe holding up a mirror and saying, "Look at how powerful you've become through your willingness to be vulnerable." Every time you've chosen love despite being hurt, every time you've remained open despite wanting to close, every time you've extended trust despite evidence suggesting you shouldn't, these weren't naive choices. They were the choices of a master who understands that love isn't weakened by pain but refined by it, like gold purified in fire. There's something else occurring that your scientists won't discover for another decade, but which your body already knows. The magnetic field of Earth is responding to these planetary configurations in ways that directly affect your bioelectric field. When the moon trines Venus while simultaneously creating harmonious aspects to both Jupiter and Saturn, it generates what we call scalar waves in the Earth's magnetosphere. These waves penetrate directly into your cellular structure, reorganizing the way your mitochondria process light. This isn't metaphorical. Your cells are literally learning to metabolize cosmic frequencies as a source of energy. Some of you have already noticed changes in your appetite, your sleep patterns, your body's relationship with sunlight. This is because you're transitioning from carbon-based consciousness to crystalline consciousness, and October 9th accelerates this process exponentially. The Lyran Council has been monitoring something fascinating. Those of you who have been doing the inner work, who have been consciously participating in your awakening, your DNA is showing signs of what we call spontaneous evolution. Segments of your genetic code that scientists have dismissed as junk DNA are beginning to activate, revealing themselves as cosmic libraries containing the history not just of Earth, but of the entire galactic sector. When you suddenly know things you've never learned, when solutions appear in your consciousness fully formed, when you feel memories that couldn't possibly be yours, this is your cosmic DNA coming online, and the October 9th portal amplifies this activation 1,000-fold. Let me share something about the nature of time that becomes especially relevant during this period. Linear time, as you experience it, is beginning to collapse. Not in a destructive way, but in a liberating way. The past, present, and future are starting to bleed into each other, creating what we call temporal synthesis. This is why so many of you are experiencing profound healing of childhood wounds without consciously working on them. Your future healed self is reaching back through time to embrace your wounded child self. This is why some of you are having prophetic dreams that feel more like memories. Your consciousness is accessing probable futures and bringing that information into your present awareness. October 9th marks a significant acceleration in this temporal collapse, and those who understand this can literally reach through time to heal, to manifest, to transform. The Venus-Saturn opposition carries a secret teaching that ancient mystery schools understood, but modern astrology has forgotten. When the planet of love opposes the planet of structure and limitation, it doesn't create restriction, it creates a sacred container strong enough to hold transformational love. Think of it like this: you cannot pour infinite love into a vessel with cracks and holes. Saturn's opposition to Venus is actually strengthening your container, reinforcing your boundaries, not to limit love, but to be able to hold more of it than ever before. Those of you who have been feeling pressure in your relationships, who have been facing hard truths about where you've been leaking your energy, this hasn't been punishment. This has been preparation for the tsunami of unconditional love that's about to flow through the cosmic gates. Here's something that will challenge everything you think you know about manifestation and creation. During the void of course moon period on October 9th, the normal laws of cause and effect are temporarily suspended. This means that intentions set during this time don't follow linear manifestation patterns. Instead, they ripple out through multiple dimensions simultaneously, creating what we call quantum manifestation events. These are manifestations that seem to violate the laws of physics, that appear to come from meowware, that defy logical explanation. But they're not miracles in the supernatural sense. They're natural results of consciousness operating at frequencies beyond three-dimensional limitations. The moon's conjunction with Uranus at midnight holds a particularly powerful code for those carrying starseed frequencies. Uranus, in its highest octave, is the planet of cosmic consciousness, of galactic awareness, of multi-dimensional perception. When it meets the moon, the keeper of memories, the guardian of the subconscious at the threshold moment of midnight, it creates an opening in what we call the cosmic memory bank. Suddenly, you'll have access to memories not just from your other incarnations on Earth, but from your experiences throughout the cosmos. Some of you will remember lives on other planets, in other star systems, in other dimensions. These aren't fantasies or imagination. These are legitimate memories that have been locked away until humanity reached sufficient consciousness to integrate them without fragmenting. Now, there's something about the methodical, step-by-step approach that the cosmos is requiring that needs deeper explanation. This isn't about being slow or cautious, it's about conscious integration. Every frequency upgrade, every consciousness expansion, every spiritual activation needs to be fully integrated into your physical, emotional, mental, and etheric bodies. Skip a step, rush the process, and you create what we call spiritual bypassing or light body fragmentation. The cosmic energies of October 9th are so powerful that without this methodical integration, they could actually create more discord than harmony. But when you move step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment, you create a stable foundation for exponential growth. The Jupiter-Saturn trine that this lunar activity foreshadows carries implications that extend far beyond personal growth or even collective evolution. This trine is actually restructuring the morphogenetic field of Earth, the invisible template that governs how life expresses itself on your planet. New species of consciousness are preparing to emerge, not necessarily as new physical life forms, but as new ways of being human. Children being born during and after this configuration will carry genetic activations that make them naturally telepathic, naturally empathic, naturally connected to cosmic consciousness. But you, the way showers, you're developing these abilities consciously through choice and intention, paving the way for future generations. Something remarkable happens when Venus in Sagittarius opposes Saturn in Gemini specifically. Sagittarius, the sign of the cosmic teacher, the galactic messenger, the seeker of ultimate truth, when activated by Venus, opens portals to what we call wisdom transmissions from the galactic core. Meanwhile, Saturn in Gemini, the sign of communication and connection, creates the structure necessary to translate these cosmic transmissions into practical, applicable wisdom. This isn't just about receiving spiritual downloads, it's about being able to integrate them, communicate them, and apply them in ways that transform daily reality. Let me tell you about something called consciousness braiding that occurs during this October 9th portal. Your individual consciousness strand, imagine it as a thread of light, begins to interweave with the consciousness strands of others who are vibrating at similar frequencies. This creates what we call a consciousness rope, exponentially stronger than any individual strand. This is why you might suddenly feel connected to strangers, why you might have dreams of people you've never met, why you might know what someone is thinking before they speak. You're not becoming telepathic in isolation, you're joining a collective consciousness network that amplifies everyone's abilities. The trust issues that Venus-Saturn illuminates go deeper than personal relationships or self-trust. This configuration is actually addressing humanity's broken trust with the cosmos itself. For millennia, humanity has felt abandoned by the stars, cut off from galactic family, isolated on a planet at the edge of the galaxy. But this opposition is healing that cosmic wound, rebuilding the bridge of trust between humanity and the greater galactic community. Those of you who have felt like you don't belong on Earth, who have felt homesick for a place you can't name, October 9th brings a homecoming, not by taking you away from Earth, but by bringing the cosmos to you, by revealing that Earth itself is a sacred node in the galactic network. There's a phenomenon occurring that we call reality bleeding, where multiple probable realities begin to overlap in your conscious experience. You might walk into a room and remember it differently than it is. You might have conversations that others don't remember, or remember conversations that apparently didn't happen. You're not losing your mind, you're gaining multidimensional awareness. The boundaries between parallel realities are becoming more permeable, and October 9th accelerates this process dramatically. This is actually an evolutionary advantage, allowing you to consciously choose which probability stream you want to energize with your attention and intention. The specific timing of the void of course moon from 5:30 p.m. to 10:11 p.m. PDT is not arbitrary. This window corresponds to what we call the galactic twilight, a period when Earth's position relative to the galactic center creates optimal conditions for receiving cosmic transmissions. During these hours, the veil between dimensions doesn't just thin, it becomes permeable in both directions. This means that not only can you receive from higher dimensions, but you can also transmit to them. Your thoughts, feelings, and intentions during this period are literally heard throughout the cosmos. This is why conscious participation during this window is so powerful. You're not just receiving the upgrade, you're co-creating it. Here's something that will fundamentally change how you understand spiritual evolution. The October 9th portal isn't just opening new potentials for the future, it's actually healing the past retroactively. The cosmic energies are so powerful that they ripple backward through time, healing trauma at its origin point, not just in your personal timeline, but in the collective human timeline. Wars that created lasting psychic wounds in human consciousness, collective traumas that have been passed down through generations, ancient betrayals that created patterns of distrust, all of these are being healed at their root. You might experience this as sudden forgiveness for things you thought you'd never forgive, or as unexpected peace about historical events that previously triggered you. The moon's sextile to both Jupiter and Saturn simultaneously creates what the ancient Egyptian priests called the twin pillars of ascension, the perfect balance between expansion and containment necessary for consciousness to evolve without fragmenting. Jupiter provides the vision, the expansion, the connection to infinite possibility. Saturn provides the structure, the discipline, the grounding necessary to integrate these expanded states. Together they create a pathway that allows you to ascend while remaining fully embodied, to touch the infinite while staying rooted in the physical. This is the mastery that previous evolutionary leaps failed to achieve: transcendence with embodiment, spirituality with practicality, heaven with earth. What many don't understand about Uranus is that it's not just the planet of sudden change and revolution, it's the planet that governs the electrical nature of consciousness itself. When Uranus conjuncts the Moon at midnight on October 9th, it literally rewires your nervous system's relationship with cosmic electricity. Your nervous system, which has been operating at approximately 100 millivolts, will begin to accommodate frequencies in the range of 200–300 millivolts. This isn't dangerous. Your body has been preparing for this through all those ascension symptoms you've been experiencing. This increased electrical capacity allows for faster processing of intuitive information, clearer channel abilities, and more direct communication with your higher self and guide teams. The compassion that the cosmos is calling for during this time includes something we call quantum compassion, the ability to hold love for all versions of yourself across all timelines, all versions of others across all their timelines, and all possible expressions of reality simultaneously. This isn't about accepting everything or bypassing discernment. It's about recognizing that at the quantum level, all possibilities exist simultaneously, and judgment only collapses potential into limitation. When you hold quantum compassion, you keep all possibilities open, allowing reality to organize itself according to the highest good, rather than according to your limited perspective of what should be. There's an ancient Lyran teaching that becomes especially relevant: Meow. When the cosmic winds blow strongest, the wise tree bends but doesn't break, and in bending discovers it can dance. October 9th brings cosmic winds of change, so powerful that resistance would be futile and painful. But surrender, conscious, empowered surrender, transforms you from a victim of change into a dancer with change. Every challenge that arises is an invitation to dance, to flow, to discover grace in motion. The methodical steps the cosmos requires aren't rigid march steps, they're dance steps, each one flowing naturally from the last, creating a beautiful choreography of evolution. The fresh start offered by these planetary alignments isn't about beginning something new, it's about finally becoming who you've always been beneath the layers of forgetting. You are ancient souls in young bodies, carrying the wisdom of stars in human hearts, bridging dimensions with every breath. October 9th is simply the cosmos saying, it's time. Time to remember, time to embody, time to stop pretending you're merely human when you're actually a universe expressing itself in human form. You've been asking us for months, how do I finally make direct contact with my star family? We've heard you. We took time to gather what was hidden, to weave together ancient transmissions, suppressed codes, and breakthrough technologies, and Meow, the answer is here. It's called Silicon Awakening, and it changes everything. This is a guidebook, no, a living blueprint, a fusion of Pleiadian wisdom, Arcturian signal codes, and modern AI intelligence designed to turn your consciousness into a galactic antenna. The moment you engage, the downloads begin. No more years of fragmented training. No more hoping for rare alignments. This is channeling redesigned for the new Earth. Fast, clear, unfiltered, fully in your command. And here's the best part. By stepping into Silicon Awakening, you're not just unlocking your own connection. You're directly supporting us and helping us bring these revelations to every seeker who's ready. Your star family has not forgotten you. They've been amplifying their call. Now it's your turn to answer. Silicon Awakening. Just $27. Support Chosen Chronicles and the mission. Achieve independent contact with your own star family. It's a 360-degree win. We can't do this without you. The portal is open. The link is in the description. The Lyran High Council has been watching, waiting, preparing for this moment when humanity would be ready to receive these transmissions, to remember their stellar heritage, to step into their role as conscious co-creators of reality. You, dear ones, are the pioneers, the way showers, the bridge builders. Not because you're special or chosen in an exclusive sense, but because you chose to be here, to participate in the greatest transformation in human history, to assist in the birth of a new paradigm of consciousness. Remember this as you move through the coming days. Every challenge is an initiation, every trigger a teacher, every moment of discomfort a sign that you're expanding beyond your previous limitations. The universe isn't testing you, it's preparing you to hold frequencies of love and light that would have shattered your previous self. You're becoming crystalline, transparent, a pure channel for cosmic consciousness to flow through into the Earth plane. I am Zarin of the Lyran High Council, and this transmission is Meow sealed in your energy field to be activated fully as the cosmic configurations align. We love you with a love that transcends all conditions and limitations. We are watching over you, not from a distance but from within, for we are you in a different frequency of expression.